Gosh darn it. Every time I come here, the song before the sermon always gets to me. Little Evan Hansen, I believe. That was my theme song for quite a few years. Makes me cry, but I believe that's why many of us find our ways to Unitarian Universalist churches because we're looking for a place to be found. Darn it. Stop it. We've searched and searched to find a community where we can be seen and just be. And so thank you, I guess. No, that's good. I got to move my stool. It's a little too close. There we go. Okay. Now, everything's better now. Whew, the emotion's gone now. I was just a little too close to the mic. Hallelujah. Oh, that feels so much better. Oh, goodness. Well, first of all, let me say it's great to be with you, and I will miss coming in speaking here. I love this church. I think you guys are awesome. I feel a very kin vibe when I come here, and you're very similar to my church in many ways, Oakland, and you always feel very free just to be me. And I did share with somebody when I started preaching Oakland, I've always felt very received and very because I grew up in that church, so to speak. They found me when nobody else would find me, and they let me just be me. And after the Methodists kicked me to the curb and all that kind of stuff, and so I kind of grew up there, and they loved me back to life, is what I like to say. And so I felt very at home there. And then when other Unitarian, I think you were one of the first Unitarian Universalist churches that invited me to preach. And I was like, oh, I don't know if I'll fit in because I always had in my mind other Unitarian Universalist churches were so cerebral. And I don't see myself as that. Well, I'm a thinker and a reader, but I don't think I'm, I don't know. I don't know. I just don't think I come off as that. So I don't know. But you guys welcome me. And so I want to say thank you. And I feel just very at home here, just like I do at Oakland. And so thank you for that. And I don't think I've been here have I been here since I ran the New York City Marathon? I don't think so. So just in case, I just wanted to make sure you know I did it. I did make it because I know I'd shared with you about my running, and I did run the New York City Marathon, and I've preached a whole sermon on that too. Oh my gosh, that was quite an event, and it was fabulous. And since then, I've definitely caught the bug because I've gone on. I ran the Kentucky Derby Marathon in April, and then a couple weeks ago, I ran what was known as the. I think of myself as Superwoman now. I've been preaching in this shirt like 3 weeks in a row. I won't let my wife wash it or anything because I'm afraid something will happen to it. But I ran a race called the Full Mo, and they dropped it. Well, you had to start in Sheridan, Indiana. That's like way far. I don't know where it is exactly. My wife took me, but you go to Sheridan, Indiana, and you start on the Monon Trail, and you run till the Monon Trail ends 31.2 miles later at the Bottle Works. And so you just run until you get to the Bottle Works, and then you cross the finish line. And then you can call yourself an ultra runner because anytime you run farther than a marathon is technically called it. So just refer to me. I'm changing my name officially to Ultra, Pastor Ultra now. No, I'm kidding. But I just want to let you know that thank you for all your support because some of you have helped me because you knew I was running for Catherine Switzer's team in the New York City Marathon, and I appreciate your financial support in that. And it's been great to continue to partner with her and that sort of thing and just all that. You guys have been great. So, and hopefully I won't be a stranger. Yes, I am going to Michigan City, and I won't be involved any longer with the Unitarian Universalists in an official capacity. I will be full-time in the United Methodist. People are wondering, what's wrong with you, Mills? Have you lost your mind? Some days I think, sure. And after a conference, there were some times recently I did think that. But I also, the United Methodists have in April kind of changed their ways and had a big split. And the part of the church that would no longer welcome me left. And what remains of the church is a more open, well, it's very open, and a more progressive church. And in some ways, I feel like you guys have trained me and brought me up in such a way that maybe I can offer them some help and healing as they try to find their way in a more progressive and open environment. And like it or not, I was raised in that, and I speak that language in a certain way. But I also speak this new liberal kind of language too. And so I'm hopeful that I can offer some healing and hope, and maybe they can offer me some too. And so the bishop has assigned me to, it seems weird, I have a bishop now. Hope she's not watching this, yo, sister. Um, but I have a bishop now, and she has appointed me to Michigan City First United Methodist. So if you want to find me, that's where I'll be for the foreseeable future. And there is a lovely ocean up there, or I guess it's a lake, but it looks like the ocean. Yeah, the church starts at 9:30. That's really early. I'm not, it's going to take a lot of coffee, but I digress, but just wanted, I wanted to share with you. You guys have been really important in my journey, and I just really appreciate you guys. So I'll still be around. My son, I have three kids, but my youngest is a senior. So my wife and he are actually going to stay here. So I'll be back and forth because we're not going to take him out of school his senior year. You should have seen the look on his face when I said, "Yo, we're moving to Michigan City." Boy, he had a bad look on his face. So, and then we told him no, that we're going to stay. He can stay here and finish his year, and I'll be here. So that's all good. So let's take a minute, take a deep breath. Now that you know what's all going on in my life, let's bring it back to pride. That beauty that's inside of you. There is beauty inside of you. I don't care what the world has told you. There is beauty inside of you, and it's okay to have some pride about it. You may have been brought up in a time and a place where to have pride was totally a bad thing. You may have been told that. It's okay. I'm here to tell you to have a little pride. I really don't know. And if you think about it, you probably don't know that many people that have too much pride. Now, I can think of one. Yep. Thought of one right immediately. But other than that, I really don't know that many people that have too much pride. All right. And if I bet you have somebody in your life, if you're getting way too prideful, they probably can help you see your ways. All right. I got a few people in my life that go, yo, damn good. I've got a few of those. So I don't think there's really that much danger. I grew up with a lot of danger. Oh, pride before a fall, pride, deadly sin, blah, 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 blah. I grew up with all that. Maybe you did too. But I'm here to tell you we're reclaiming pride because I love the way Joy Oladokin, I love her definition and I've embraced it. Joy is the beauty that lives inside of you. It's the authentic beauty that lives inside of you. Pride is the authentic beauty that lives inside of you. Now, for us GLBTQIA people, that authentic beauty that lives inside of us, the world has told us that it's not beauty. In fact, the world has legislated against us and says that beauty that's inside of you is illegal and can't exist. Mental, all those things. All right. So that's why it's so important that we begin to hear that authentic beauty that lives inside of you is okay and that it is beautiful. Now, the theological tome that I'm pulling from, this is why I never think of myself as too, I'm pulling from this great theological tome, keeping it with the Muppets today. But for me, this book brings me to tears nearly always because it was an adult not that long ago that this book, about 3 years ago, broke my heart. And you're going to say, Mills, you're crazy. You can say it. Everybody say it out loud. Just say it. Thank you. I needed that. It's important I hear that occasionally because I am and I embrace the label. Okay. That's a label I'm proud to carry around. But I've read this book over and over. You know, I was an elementary school teacher. I raised three children. I love this book and nobody reads this book better than I. Okay. And I'm not going to read it to you because I'm just that good. And it would take all my time to read this book because I milk it. I'm a dramatic reader. I am everything about this book. Okay. But basically, I'm just going to synopsis for you. You can get it from the library or it's been YouTubed and all that. But basically, Grover, these people are reading this book and he's like telling them don't read the book anymore because if you keep turning these pages, I'm just going to do the first page for you. He says on the first page, what did you say? There's a monster at the end of the book. Don't turn any more pages because there's a monster at the end of the book. So every time you turn a page, he goes, oh, you turn the page. See what I mean? I'm really good at reading this book. So he's warning them. There is a monster at the end of this book. For gosh sakes, don't turn any more pages. So as you can imagine, as you're reading to your kids are like, Mom, don't turn any more pages. And you're like, oh, I have to turn a page. And so Grover, he ties up the pages. He yells at him again, over and over again. Maybe I just like this book because I could yell at my kids before they go to bed. In the Grover voice, so it seemed acceptable that way. But he carpenter. I mean, he just over and over, and he does bricks, all the kinds of things. And bottom line is, you just keep turning the pages. He's like, no, it's the last page. Don't turn it because there is a monster at the end of this book. And he gets really stressed out about it. I mean, you can feel the stress. I always felt the stress, and I always read it as he felt the stress. And I believe he feels the stress. My kids felt the stress every time we read it. We all felt the stress. And finally, they get to the end, and oh my gosh, they turn the last page, and you know what they find there? They find a monster. You know what monster they find? Lovable, furry, old Grover. He was the monster at the end of the book. He was the monster. Lovable, furry old Grover. And I'd read that book 4 billion times and laughed every time. But about 3 years ago, I realized, oh my gosh, I'm the monster at the end of the book. My authentic, beautiful self, my GLBTQIA, lesbian, old lesbian, as I like to say, self is the monster, and she's not hideous. She's lovable. And I never really got it as good as I did that last time I read that about 3 years ago. It hit home. It hit home. My belief is, and what I think is, the gift of pride for all of us, whether you identify as GLBTQIA or whatever, the gift of pride teaches us that that monster that all of us probably have, that we're a little afraid of, that we're going to find at the end of the book, that we've locked away, that the world has legislated against, or that families told us was bad, or this or that, or we have heard is just this horrible thing that we have put bricks up and strings up and wood against. I'm so afraid, don't turn another page. We may find that if we turn that last page, it's just lovable, authentic us. Complicated? Yes. But lovable, authentic, beautiful, pride. You know, when I say I found my authentic, lovable self, she ain't perfect. She's still got, things that ain't good about her. She is a little crazy. She's got a big old ego. She hates to share. She occasionally does things she probably shouldn't, says things she probably shouldn't. She's complicated, but she's lovable, and she's okay. I believe that is the gift that pride teaches us. That whatever that is, no matter how you identify or whatever you're afraid of, whatever winds might blow. Sorry if you're not in the sanctuary. Right now, the sanctuary, the winds have changed, just blew. It's beautiful, and it's okay to have pride and to know that. If you've never gone to Pride, the actual Pride in Indianapolis or wherever you want to go, Carmel, or any Pride I've ever been to, go. I know it can be a bit scary if you're not GLBTQIA, and even if you are GLBTQIA, it can be a little bit scary because we have our own internalized homophobia as well. All right? Just think about me. I was raised in rural America, okay? Rural Indiana, let's be specific, in middle of nowhere, all right? And I didn't see anybody, I didn't think anybody else was gay, and I didn't even know I was gay, actually. I just knew I was really different. I just knew I was a square, and everybody else was a circle, and didn't even have a name for it or anything. And that's just how I grew up like that. So I grew up not knowing, I just thought this was, and grew up hearing all the time it was a horrible thing. And then when I did figure out what it was, I also knew not only was it horrible, it was illegal. I don't know how that happened even, how it got to be illegal, but boy, it's sending me to hell and to jail. Woo, it's a twofer. Can't beat that. And I don't even think I've done anything about it. Like, I don't even know how this all just so happened to me like that, So, and you just got to giggle about it a little because you got to. So that you grow up in that way and that sort of thing. So imagine the power then. So you got a lot of that in you. So for those of us that grow up that way, when you go to your first Pride, you're carrying a lot of that stuff. So it's a little bit hard for all of us. But you need to go. Because what you see there is the beauty of diversity and the beauty of things you don't understand. I'll be honest with you. I'm a GLBTQIA person, and I watched the whole parade, the whole 2.5 hours of it, and there were things there and people there, I'm like, what's that? I don't know what that is, but okay. Because you have taught me as Unitarian Universalists, I should approach the world with not judgment, but curiosity. So I don't look at people now and go, oh, that's bad. I look at people and go, that's what? That's called curiosity. Because I'm not going to judge it. I'm just like, that's what? I don't know. But what I saw there was beautiful. It's colors, it's joy, it's people's authentic selves. They have got to the end of the book, and they have saw that it's beautiful and lovable. Probably not perfect, complicated, but beautiful and lovable. And you don't have to look very far at Pride to see it. And that's why they talk about the joy and the colors, because it's just so diverse and so beautiful. It's a beautiful representation of, oh my gosh, the vastness of our authentic selves. What a gift of pride that extends to all of us, no matter who we are or how we identify. That is such a wonderful gift and such a freeing and beautiful thing for all of us, no matter who we are. One of the things that we got to do in our booth, and I just have to lift this up, is we do glitter blessings, which I had never heard of glitter blessings. I'm like, what are unicorn blessings? Sometimes they're called that. I'm like, what is that? Last year, they said that's what we were going to do as UU pastors. I'm like, I've never heard of unicorn blessings, but again, try not to judge. We're Unitarians, so I'm curious. And they said, well, you take glitter and you put it on people and you bless them. And I go, okay. And but basically, it's you remind people you're loved just the way you are. Don't go changing to try and please me or God or the universe or whatever you believe in. Just be you. And last year, I was a little hesitant at first because I was like, oh, I don't know, I've never done this. But boy, I got into it. And I love doing it because with everybody that I put my hands on, I said, and I always, can I hold your hand? Yes. What color of glitter you want? Because you got to pick your right glitter. You don't want just any color, because I'm picking purple because purple's my signature color. And where do you want your glitter? Okay, your arm, your hand, whatever. So putting the glitter on, and I just was saying to people, remember that you are loved beyond measure. Remember that you are born of the stars and the stardust, that you're perfect just the way you are, and you shine and sparkle inside and out. And don't let anybody or anything tell you different. Always remember that you're loved just the way you are. Happy Pride. And as each person that walked away, smiling, some of us hugged and had tears, I felt like I was healed a little bit inside, as they were healed a little bit inside. I got to say, this year, same thing was happening. I must need a lot of healing. That's all I got to figure. I'm old. But imagine the beauty when you're growing up, and even us old folks who have heard from something that representing a church that says you don't belong and you're bad and blah, 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 to walk into a church tent and somebody saying, you're loved, don't ever forget it. How powerful that is. You delivered that message to people yesterday. You had a hand in that. You didn't have to be in the booth to have a hand in that. Your giving, your presence, your beliefs, all that kind of stuff. You were a part of that. And one of my best moments, I'll probably cry a little bit. Boy, I'm just a little bit emotional today. What is it with you people? Stop it. I did the glitter blessing for this young man, and he goes, I came to you because I got a glitter blessing from you last year, too. I'm like, oh. I'm like, oh, my gosh. I'll be back again next year. You can bet on that. I'll be hunting him down. How powerful is that? That, my friends, is the power of pride, to transform and to change. We all need to be reminded. That is the power of opening that last page and discovering that monster that we're so afraid of is okay. Yeah, the monster's complicated, but it's lovable you. It's lovable you. We can embrace it and love it and explore it and get to know it. So in case nobody's told you this, hear these last words from me. Everybody ready? All right, get ready. I should have brought glitter, but I don't know who your janitor is or who sweeps. They would have been mad at me. But if I could sprinkle, wouldn't that be something? Maybe my new church will work on that. No, probably not. No, probably. That might be a bad, Imagine glitter, okay? But imagine, hear these words. You are loved beyond measure. The universe, the stars, whatever you want to think of, conspired to come in alignment and to bring you into the world. You are loved just the way you are. Just the way you are. And I know you guys. I've gotten to know you a little bit, and trust me, I believe you sparkle inside and out. Some of you are pretty big sparklers. You don't need to change. Explore and grow as you are. You are loved. I don't care what the world says. Always remember, you are loved. You don't have to fear that monster at the end of the book, because it's lovable, furry, old, or young. Grover, or Tammy, or you. That, my friends, is a power and the gift, and why we must always celebrate Pride until it's intricately woven in every day of the year. That is why we must always lift this month up to remember you're loved.